This is the Bookshelf Challenge, where I challenge myself to read all of the books on my bookshelf. Just got done reading another book. This was Couch Top Detectives, starring our very own Rosie. And it's one of those books by anyone, a book that is generated by AI. Okay, so now that we get that out of the way, let's discuss Couchtop Detectives. So anyway, I saw an ad for these AI-generated books here on TikTok. And I had a brother who was having a birthday this month, and I thought I'd get him one as a gift, and I'd get me a copy of that as well, so I could check out these AI-generated books to see what all the fuss is about. So anyway, I got on the site and it asked, who do you want the book to be about? And I decided to go with my mother's dog, Rose, because my brother loves that dog. And then it asked you a bunch of other questions that you can answer that help inform the book, like what's Rose's job? I put down guard dog. Where's her favorite place? Why, the couch top. She's always up there looking out the window. What does Rose dream about? I don't know, so I just put down chasing mastodons. So, I answered these questions, that question. Then I moved on, and you basically have three options for books. You have a detective novel, a space one, and I think one with wizards. I went with the detective novel because, Rosie's, she's a guard dog. And I guess we'll just do a review of the product, less than a review of the book, because none of you were ever going to read it. Anyway, I was kind of surprised. It was pretty interesting. They really do nail down the character of Rosie. She really does just, sit on that couch top, looking out the window, barking at every rabbit and dog and person. She's suspicious. So you definitely got the character of her down. She's obsessed with treats and chew toys. She's always sniffing around stuff. This is how they portrayed her, and right on the money with Rose. Also, they asked, who's her best friend? I just put down my other brother's dog, Nugget, even though they've never met. And they got Nugget down. He's got this kind of dopey personality, and that's how he was portrayed in this book. Although they had him as a Chihuahua, and he is a golden retriever, not only bigger than Rosie, but also older. So how he ends up being her protege in a Chihuahua, I don't know. Anyway, like I said, those are the positives. Negatives, not much of a story. Not throughout the entire novel. There's not like one mystery her and Nugget are trying to solve. Every chapter, it's like its own little vignette, its own little story about her trying to solve some mystery. Most of the time, she doesn't do anything. She just talks about how she tries to solve mysteries. She doesn't actually solve any mysteries. There was one chapter that was incredibly disappointing. So one of the questions was, what is something Rosie knows that no one else knows? And for fun, I put down, who killed JFK? Right? And that ends up being a chapter. I wasn't actually expecting them to tell us who really killed JFK. Like, the AI was going to investigate it and give us the answer somehow. But, I thought maybe they'd pull a conspiracy theory through the internet and put it in the book. But no. They never tell you who killed JFK. So that was kind of disappointing. I was trying to test AI, see what they would put, who killed, John F. Kennedy. And they mentioned John F. Kennedy in the chapter, but then, she starts talking about conspiracy theories and how they come about. And it's like, no! Who killed him, Rosie? Tell us. You're the couch top detective. Sniff it out, Rosie. Anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting, but overall, she doesn't do anything. But it kind of works because the main character is a dog, so it's not like she can figure anything out, really. She's got a sporadic mind, so she just kind of sniffs around, and, she's upset with the finding snacks and chew toys. So it kind of makes sense. If I get another one of these novels, I'm going to use myself like a real person, and then we'll see if they improve. But as far as Couch Top Detectives went, it was okay. And, it was interesting, but it's not War and Peace. AI hasn't reached that level. They're just not that creative. But, you know, go to Books by Anyone. Check it out yourself. Well, not this one. You know, you have to do your own novel. All right, moving on. Let's get another book from the bookshelf. This draw number says choice, which means I get to choose which book I'm taking off the book. From a dog mystery series to a cat mystery series, this is the next book, Curiosity Thrilled the Cat.